Hey guys! So it's been kind of a while since I've done any videos, and I wanted to do a video today because I haven't done one in a while about body image, and because I went through such a drastic change before and after and did a couple of videos on this channel about it, I figured that I would talk about my experience with losing weight and then gaining weight back and then trying to lose weight again, but also dealing with more than just weight or health. It's more about how you feel about yourself, what you're comfortable with, and ways to appreciate your body. So I want to talk about that today. So I posted on a couple of social media sites asking people to give me some questions that I could answer, because most of the time when I talk about these videos, I think about what people have asked me in the past, but I don't really directly answer any questions, so I figured I'd do that today. I got a lot of really awesome questions that I'd love to answer right now, so I'm just going to dig right into it. What really got you motivated to lose weight the first time around, and do the same things still look as attractive to you now that you have gained some of the weight back? It's really funny because when I first lost weight and I was really conscious about my body, I was really gung-ho about wearing clothes and trying new outfits and feeling really sexy, and a lot of it was stemmed to being overweight and very self-conscious and about my appearance when I was growing up. Because honestly, if I was to talk to myself when I was in high school, being me now, I would have never imagined I'd look like this at all. Whenever I describe to people what I used to look like, I'd say that I felt like, you know, a middle-aged mom when I was 14. And especially for right now with fashion and internet growing as fast as it is, it's so completely different. If I was dealing with what I did look like and how I felt about myself, then I would have way worse self-esteem than if social media and pop culture and what everyone's expectations of what beauty is was around when I was in high school. For me, when I was skinny and then me gaining weight back, things have changed, but I also think that it might be because of me getting older, because when I did lose all of the weight was a couple years ago, and I had never really ventured out and was single and didn't really go out a lot, and I just like hit the ground running with all of that, and it was hard to digest and understand. I had never gone out clubbing, or I wasn't very social before, and going from 0 to 60 basically, and dressing the way I was and feeling the way I did when I lost all the weight, it was this huge change, and I loved the attention. Of course, I mean, after not having it at all, I loved it, and gaining weight back and feeling very self-conscious about my body, but then meeting someone who appreciates me for more than just what I look like, it makes the hugest difference. Not only that, personally with my relationship, my boyfriend is attracted to girls who are thicker, and I've always been a naturally thick girl. I did not like it growing up. I was really happy when I lost all the weight, and then gaining weight, I started to feel a little bit of low self-esteem, but then at the same time, I've learned to appreciate my body differently than I ever did before, especially when I first lost the weight. Now, when I put on a certain outfit, or even when I'm just in my underwear and I'm thicker now than I am before, I still think that I'm sexy, and I think that no matter what weight you are or what size you are, you should feel sexy in your own skin. That being said, there's days when I feel amazing about myself and I think I'm completely sexy, and there's days where I feel like I'm a total wreck and I hate the way I look. But I think for our sex personally, that's kind of just a norm. So now, as I'm getting older and appreciating what I look like, I do believe that my concept of what beauty is and what's attractive has changed a little bit for me. How do you feel about the fact that you've gained and lost weight since your first major weight loss? Is it emotionally and physically tolling to fluctuate and struggle with weight loss? And yes, definitely. And I feel like this is a struggle that more than just me deals with. There's plenty of people in this world that deal with fluctuation of weight, and you spiral into this, not I'm going to say depression, but you feel you have low self-esteem about it, and then that will reinforce you with bad habits and bad eating and being lazy. So I do believe that it is a struggle, but it's something that I think builds character, because going from low self-esteem to having some self-esteem about myself to being a little bit more overweight and learning about myself, I do believe that I knocked myself down a peg just with gaining weight back. And I think that I needed it, because being skinnier and showing off my body or wearing clothes a certain way, my attitude changed a little bit. It didn't change a lot, but it did change a little bit, and it didn't change for the good. So gaining weight back helped me gain perspective on myself, and I do appreciate that from, an emotional standpoint. I'm curious of what your opinion is of people who use the health excuse / reason to critique or even body shame a person's lifestyle and body. Because I've gained weight, and I came from losing weight, giving people advice, and then gaining weight back, and then I got this flood of either complaints or suggestions as to how I can get back on track, or things that I should stop doing and to make myself look better and or feel better. I mean, it could go either way, and I do believe that, especially right now with how easy it is to contact people through the internet, that it's easier for people to say, you're doing this wrong and you don't look right, you need to get better, you should lose 10 pounds, or I have a really great suggestion as to, get healthy, even though they might not mean healthy, they mean losing weight. And it's such a hard struggle to be able to decipher who is actually being helpful or who's making you feel bad for the way you look. And it sucks really bad, honestly. I've had so much battles with it, because when I did lose weight, people expected me to look and stay that certain way, and I had more time on my hands, and I know everyone says, oh, you make time to lose weight, or if it's really important to you, you will dedicate 100% to it. And I agree too, but most of the time when I was doing that, I was filling a void, and I was filling a void that was trying to make me feel whole or make me feel happy about myself. And in the end, when I was at my thinnest, I wasn't happy. I was still lonely. I was still sad. I still didn't know who I was. And now, even more so, I feel the most whole, the most Jasmine I've ever been. And yeah, I've gained, I don't know how much I've gained because I don't weigh myself, but I know I've gained a fair amount of weight where it's noticeable, but I don't mind personally. I don't want to stay at this weight, but I'm not going to let that make me feel like crap or make me stop from living my life. And I do believe that the people that push it, they kind of promote body shaming. And it's so sad to me, because I'll talk to people who are 20 years older than me, 30 years older than me, and it's so hard for them to understand the concept of people not feeling 100% about themselves when life is so short. Because I know for a fact with like the last 10 years have gone by so fast. I'm turning 28 in a couple weeks, and all I could think is like, how did that happen so fast? And worrying so much about your body is so tiresome, and it's so temporary. I think you should think about being good to your body, but it shouldn't be something to the point where you're telling people how they should look, because I don't believe in it. I don't. I get this question a lot, is what keeps you motivated? And once you get into the rhythm, it's so easy, because the endorphins feel so good, and clothes fit better, and you look better in pictures, and people constantly compliment you. So once it got into that pattern, it's like, okay, I need to keep going. But I also had a bunch of time on my hands, so it was a lot easier for me to be able to go to the gym every day, because I was working part-time at night, and I'd go to the gym in the morning, I'd have the rest of the day, I'd film some videos, I'd edit, and then I'd be able to, get it going. But once getting a full-time job and being in a relationship and meeting up with people and traveling and stuff, it's a lot more difficult. I know there's plenty of people that do it though and say that they're fine doing it, and that's awesome. Good for you. But I still have yet to find that rhythm, and it's a lot harder for me to be able to go from when I was motivated, I was losing weight, to where I am now. Since you've been on both sides of the spectrum, at which weight did you feel the most comfortable? Honestly, it's right now, and I'm overweight. I feel the most comfortable with myself, feel the most happy with myself, and I feel sexy. When I was at my thinnest, I still would stare in the mirror and think, God, there's some things that I wish I could get rid of, or I wish I was 10 pounds thinner. If I could hear myself then and say, I wish I was 10 pounds thinner then, I would have slapped myself in the face, because I am so much thicker now than I was then. And I was unsatisfied. It wasn't enough. And that correlates with the next question on here is when do you figure enough is enough? And I honestly don't know that answer, because there's some people who genuinely just keep going at it, and I don't blame them for it. If they're happy to keep going at it, then they're happy to keep going at it. But there's a difference between getting skinny and getting healthy, because there's a point where you can get too skinny or you can get too big and stuff, and it's just not healthy for your body. And I think that's everyone's own personal journey, and I don't think that they should be pushed either way. Whenever I think back to when I was younger and I used to have family members who would say, you know, they try to push me to lose weight, it did the exact opposite. It killed my self-esteem, and I just felt horrible about myself. I hated looking in mirrors. I hated taking pictures. I'd always stand in the back behind people, and I don't know what people think that saying, you know, you'd look better if you lost some weight, or you should try going to the gym sometime, or you should do this, and they think that it helps. It doesn't help at all. At least I don't think so. It's never worked for me. And I know a lot of people who feel horrible about it, about being pushed to looking a certain way. So don't tell people they need to change. They should just be happy with who they are. If they want to change, awesome, support them, but don't try to make them change. It's awful. Thanks so much, guys, for asking these questions. I think they're really awesome. I hope this video is somewhat helpful to you guys, and that, you know, you could take something from it and learn from some of my mistakes or experiences, and that you know, it makes you feel better about yourself, because you're awesome the way you are. If you want to change, awesome. I think you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Anyone can do it. But yeah, be happy about who you are. You're awesome. So until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.